Let's look at model adjustments. Moving members first. So you'll see we have a double angle connection. We're going to move one beam. And when we do so, you'll notice that the cone turns red and moves right along with the material. Obviously, well, they're a component still, but obviously the material is not a representation of what physically should be there. So it has to be rerun. So we'll do just that. We'll go up to button 1 and we will run what we've selected as the component. You also have the ability to only run revised QNet components, so if there's multiple red cones. And let's go ahead and bring that back in with button 2. And now you have two separate connections of single angle bolted. So they come in as their two separate components. Everything's good, no red cone. Next is rotating members. So if you already have a connection and you're going to rotate that beam, you don't want to have the listener come up, have to either delete or re-engineer immediately. You have other things that you have to move and adjust further and further. So let's do the same thing here and rerun this. Go back to button 2 and bring that in. And there we are. It's been rerun. Green cone, everything's good to go. Next is mirroring members. So one thing you want to remember is when you mirror something, you still have to pay attention to the start and end handle items. So that you're going to want to swap when you do that, but you want to make sure when you swap, it swaps the handle, but it doesn't swap the UDA information. So that would need to be swapped or revised as well, because you don't just have to rerun when you move something. You can do it with multiple different UDA updates and everything to go along with it. So we'll bring this one back down. And you'll get the same connection just on the other side of that beam. Okay, let's go to copying members. So when we copy these main members, we're going to copy them over. When we do that, the materials, the connection materials are not going to be there. Okay, so you can copy that, but previously we had some issues with UDA information and giving us some problems. Well, now when you copy, you can just rerun and it will allow you to bring a connection back in there without any hesitation or problems. All right, next up is extending members. So whether you are actually physically extending a member to make it longer or you're moving your end to make it shorter, again, you're going to get the handle, the component is going to turn red. You're going to be able to rerun that. And you should get the same connection that comes right back. Now, if it's an identical connection, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to adjust the materials that are already there. It's just going to bypass and leave it as it was. Now, re-engineering multiple components. So as you can see, I've done something to these to make them all red. Now I can select all of those and say submit from button 1, and when they're ready, go to button 2, submit that, and those are going to be rerun. And if it's a brand new connection, it will definitely bring that connection in. And if it's not, it'll bypass it and leave it alone. So you'll notice session notifications. So when we hit button 2 and we bring a connection back in, whether it's successful or non-successful, you're going to get a notification. And it has a GUID number associated. You have the ability to just close it, or you can say save. You'll go ahead and save that file, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as you do that and open it up, it is exactly that notification. Which GUID was brought in with which session, so on and so forth.